Oh yeah, small points that I still wanted to bring up. It's something I'm just worried about, and I just wanted to say my piece on it. People do with it as they want, as always. It's the term white erasure. Uh, yeah, let's start with that for now. So, recently I found out, people shared with me that they were going to a rally, and it was about standing up for a young hero who, yeah, who died defending a girl from being sexually abused. That is, luckily, people are starting to notice that these things happen constantly, and who knows how many unnamed people have been killed because they defended their loved ones, or just, you know, or they just did it because it was the right thing to do. And I wanted to share an important term that I heard, and I'm not laying claim to this title either, or not the title, the term, but I wanted to present something to everyone. More commonly, people still speak about a great replacement is taking place. A great replacement sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It's like, wow, what is the old crud that we're throwing out of the house then? That's what that tells to most people. Great replacement. There's nothing great about it. And it's not a replacement because it's not like throwing out an old pot. It's not throwing out a rusty car and replacing it with a new one. It's not. It isn't like your mailbox, like the pole that is sticking out from the garden is starting to rot and you need to replace it with a new one, which is a great thing to do. No, it's a it's not a wise term to use because it paints a wrong perception in people's minds. And if you want to convince people, you need to be careful about the language you use. I know. I've had people argue with me over this before. They say, "Yeah, but I know what it means, and smart people know what it means, and other people are stupid." Even if so, that is not an excuse to, speak as best as you can. You're doing it for others, right? You're not doing it for a handful of guys who just like that term more. No, you're doing it because you want to save people, or because you want to have them be remembered for their heroism. And I'm not pointing fingers either. It's just that there are better alternatives. So please, do the great replacement of the term great replacement with white erasure. Well, what does that mean? White erasure, how it can be explained. Or, another one is white and then G oside. I'm not even sure I can say it with all these algorithms these days. And who knows what I said, right? What kind of mumble is that, Hans? And people will respond with, well, where is all the destruction? Where are the piles of hurt people in the streets? Where are the black and white pictures? And you know people think like that because they've been drilled to think like that for a long, long time. You're not going to overcome that by being a wise ass. It's not gonna happen. And that means that if you then do not acknowledge that, everything that you do will be like a swing in the air. You constantly will miss the ball and you'll never score a goal. So, what then? White erasure, already said it, right? Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? The way how you explain that is house by house, street by street eventually, town by town eventually, a given area in a Western country becomes less and less white, less European, less Hyperborean, whichever you prefer. Now that is something people can see in their lives and see it right next door. You think that won't give them pause to ponder about it for a second? Yeah, still some will stick their head in the sand, but there is no denying it. And the end conclusion is that there's going to be none of a certain people left. As there are none left in certain streets already, as there are none are left in certain towns already, neighborhoods, houses most definitely, where there used to be. Now that is a powerful term, because it paints a very vivid and immediate image that people can connect with in their personal lives. Now you have something that people can grab onto and be like, oh man, this is happening next to my daughter's house. This is happening next to me, across from me, with people in apartments above from me, below me. And, so many of my friends, it's around them. And there's, and then you might have some who are like, where do I flee? Well, where do you flee? There is no fleeing. It's all over, and you got to confront it. Got to be brave, courageous. It's one of those virtues of our people, right? And they want to start living up to them. But yeah, and you can bring it down to, that's just physical, right? Genetically, crib by crib, classroom by classroom, school by school, playground by playground. Less and less European children in European lands. Have you seen that before? Doesn't that hurt a little bit when you hear that? It should. I think it should. I think you've seen it before, whomever you are. Hmm? But if instead you would say, oh, there's a great replacement taking, yeah, being present in the playgrounds and the schools. What kind of image does that yield? Or the whole aside? You don't have to believe me, think about it. Maybe even use it and see how people respond to it. Contrary to these same old terms that have been used for years now without a single result. And again, white erasure, I'm not laying claim to it whatsoever. I use the term myself because it's important, because it works. And yeah, the fella who I know came up with it, who presented it, goes by the name of Jason Koenen. I never talked with the guy myself. And there are disagreements that I have with him on certain points, but overall, yeah. If you agree for 90%, it's good enough, right? I'm not going to I'm not going to stop him in his tracks. In fact, I actually be like, you know what, whatever disagreements we have, we can still talk it out maybe at some point. Or maybe never. Maybe I'll never get to talk with the fella. But then we're still going to, he's going to live his life, I'm going to live mine. And we do it with the people that befit us most, and we'll see how that then goes. It's fine, It's quite a few millions of us left. So, yeah, that's a lot of people to choose from, to stick with, if you so prefer. But that's why I want to bring it up. I got a little bit angry there, but then a little bit sad too. But it's also because it's such a vivid image that it paints, right? I've seen it. I've lived it. Oh, do I? And I think most of you have as well. Or have, at the very least, people that have lived it as well. But no, I think most of us simply have done so at this point. So I really recommend that you use that instead. And whichever intellectual, whichever scholar says that no, you can't do that because in my ivory tower we don't use that. it's not considered intellectual. And therefore, if we do not consider it intellectual, it is not worth using. Yeah, well, then I would be like, no, let's close the door of your ivory tower and you stay there until forever. And just let the people who actually have lives to live do their thing. So they can actually maybe protect their own, the people they love. Instead of pursuing this, whatever this intellectualism is even supposed to mean. What does that even mean? Many people have intellect. And some use it for good and some use it for bad. And people have it in all varying kinds of degrees. Yeah, I mean, anyone ever considered that before? The folly of that way of thinking, or that weird concept that seems to have no root in reality that much. It's more so just to boost the egos of a select group. Or even if they do it with good intentions, get your ego out of the room and listen to what other people have to say. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then final part, Viking series, right? It's been taking me a while, and yeah. You might say, well, you could have been making it now, and look at you sitting in the forest. Guilty as charged. But I sometimes want some peace and quiet. Some might actually notice that physically, I mean, it's not that I'm ill, it's not that something bad is going on, but I could be better. It's because I am constantly working and thinking and what have you on all kinds of stuff. Arguing, debating, not debating, just arguing a lot and trying to figure things out, helping people, talking with people. Well, still, trying to do right by the family and by the friends that I have. So yeah, I won't apologize for it. That's not gonna happen. If someone wants me to apologize for that, yeah, shame on you. Oh man. But I do not think that anyone would say that to me. It's just that yeah, it's gonna take a bit longer. It's also not so easy to find some stuff on a few figures. But episode 2 is on its way. Got a fun new concept that I'm gonna call Answer Time, which is gonna be part of the second episode. It's going to present some more information for people who have questions. Yeah. So there is the heads up in that regard for those who are wondering. No worries, I haven't forgotten. No, I won't. I enjoy that stuff way too much. But yeah. You need to be able to just take a breath. I think everyone can understand that. And yeah, with that said, I think I had to say everything I had to say. So you all have a good one. Think on it, please. Try the new term, even maybe especially because it's new. That makes it interesting, makes it worthwhile. And remember the explanation, because it's a very powerful image that it paints for you. For you, for everyone around you. And in terms of that hero that was recently remembered in Sweden, yeah. Should the family ever get to hear it, I'm sorry that it happened, but I'm also glad that you guys raised that hero, so he could be remembered. And one day, hopefully, we'll be erecting a statue for him. And with that said, Hans Sugren is going to sign off. You will have a good one. Bye bye.